It's Rog here with the first episode of our new series, American Dreams Supreme Meets Suboptimal, as we prepare for our boys to start this summer of wonder in the Copa América. And today I'm joined by a gent who's parachuted in from Germany to solve our right back riddle on this US men's national team. A bloke who makes so little fuss of any of his career challenges. Signing a pro contract at 15, no big deal. Moving to the Bundesliga, trying to adjust to German culture, learn the language during the pandemic. A breeze. Being asked to mark Leroy Sané in his third Bundesliga start or Vinicius Jr. in his last game, which we will talk about. It's a joy to raise my Michelob Ultra to a true character, the pride of Lake Grove, Long Island, the United States men's national team, and Borussia Mönchengladbach. It's incredible to see. Joe Scally.
What's up, Raj? Thank you for having me.
I wanted to ask you, you last made the mistake of coming on this show October 2022. You told us that your mother, Margaret, was your real youth team coach, but that your dad had some advice for you growing up about the art of lockdown defending. Do you remember what it was?
Yeah, listen, I wish they could have told you themselves. They just walked out of the house. But, like you said, my mom was my coach. She played when she was younger. She wasn't so into it, but she was my coach all the way up until I forget. I think at 10, I told you last time. But my dad, he was more the athlete, you know what I mean? He played basketball. He played lacrosse. He played all the, sports growing up when you're a kid.
And he played all the sports that were legally allowed on Long Island.
Yeah, exactly. And then I was about to say all the normal sports for a second, and that would not have made sense. So, I think I got all my athleticism and that part, I guess, because the main part of my defense is my athleticism, to be able to recover and use my speed, use my quickness. So I think that's mainly from my dad, but of course I'd have to say from both.
And your dad has a phrase that I think about a lot when I watch you play. Well, it's not his phrase, it's a basketball mantra. Never let them go baseline, Joe.
Yeah, exactly. I know. And that's something I definitely use, in the last games and the couple games. So he's not wrong with that.
And before we go any further, we do need to mention that this series was made possible by our great friends at Michelob Ultra, superior light beer. But Joe, in that game against Brazil, in muggy Orlando, Florida, you just come off that demoralising 5-1 loss to Colombia. We were tuning in with our hearts and our mouths, and you were going up, Joe Scally, against probably the favourite for the Ballon d'Or this season, the quite electrifying Vinicius Jr. And I did wonder while I was watching you, in this night of nights, that 1-1 victory, was your dad's advice ringing in your head all game? Don't let noted NBA enthusiast Vini Jr. go baseline.
Yeah, I think that was definitely not in my head, during the game or before the game. That's something I was not thinking about. I know how to defend now. Of course, it's part of my normal routine, not let them go baseline. Obviously, he has a part in it from the beginning when he told me. But yeah, it was just a normal feeling, you know what I mean, during the game and everything like that. But obviously, you can't let them go baseline.
It was quite incredible watching it because the stakes were so high. Last game, this talent-soaked group of individuals, Jen Siegel's squad, you had to gel before the Copa, had to prove yourselves to yourselves almost, coming off that difficult loss against Colombia. And you had to face up to Luis Diaz in that game. And I did wonder, what did you know about Vini going into it? How much game film did you watch to prepare? What was your game plan, the shutdown strategy, both tactically and mentally?
Like, obviously, the 4 days before, I have a group chat with Josh Sargent, Gio, and Brendan Aronson, us three. So they like to...
What's that one called? Geezers?
Yeah, I can't tell you. So we have the whole week they were sending me like the stupid highlight clips, on Instagram and stuff of him, just making defenders look stupid. They always had a laugh about it.
That's really confidence inspiring for you, isn't it, Joe?
Yeah, exactly. I know. So it was funny, So I've probably seen every single dribble that he's ever done in his life just because they sent me it nonstop for 4 days straight. I probably had like 10 different videos to watch. So I pretty much, seen we did the normal video and stuff like that. But it's funny you say that because I wanted to say it because they actually sent me every single dribble that he's probably ever done in his whole career.
Noted football scout Josh Sargent.
Yeah.
I've got to be honest. With friends like these, I don't know what to tell you. That is the most. You must have nerves and confidence of steel because each one that I was getting, all right, Sargent, shut the hell up. At a certain point, I'd be like, mate, I got it.
Yeah, they'll send videos of him even dancing, just everything. They send everything, everything you could. They They sent it. It was so funny. So I have just 100 clips of him doing every single dribble. It's 4 days before. It's crazy.
It must have been imprinted on your retina
Yeah.
before you take the field. Yeah, when we last spoke, you told me a beautiful story about one of your early Bundesliga games against Bayern Munich. I think it was Robert Lewandowski was dribbling at you. You got control of the ball. He stepped on your foot, and you thought to yourself as you took possession in your own head, you thought, shit, this is Lewandowski. To paraphrase, you said, crap, this is Lewandowski. I think in German you probably would have said Scheisse, but you admitted that you never thought that you, Joe Scally from Long Island, would be playing against him. Did you have that kind of buzz against Vinicius and awareness every time he was on the ball? Like, holy crap, it wasn't just an opponent in a yellow shirt, but it was Vini Jr. squaring up to you, Joe Scally, and the future of democracy was on the line.
Yeah, you have a different mindset when you play these type of players. You know, you're more, I don't want to say more focused, but in the end, you are more focused. You know what I mean? If it's just going into a normal game, your head is always switched on the whole entire game, because you know if this guy gets the ball one time and you're not focused, it's a goal, 100%. So that's why you are focused all the time. Of course, when you do steal the ball from him or when you're defending him 1-against-1, you are like, holy shit, this is, Vinicius Jr., who maybe won the Ballon d'Or this year. That's why it's crazy to think about. But now I also have this different type of confidence that I didn't have when I played against Lewandowski, like more the confidence that I also belong to be on the field with him at the same time. So it gives you that different type of feeling.
God, I'd love to interview Vinny and ask him if every time he's fronted up to you, he was like, oh crap, I am going up against Joe from Long Island. And it was like just a mutual awareness, because you won 3 duels. If he didn't before the game, you can make the case he did afterwards. You won 3 duels. You made 3 tackles, had 3 clearances. Good things come in trios. But it wasn't just you. Which I think reinforced the wonder of the night. I'm not going to lie, I made you man of the match in our post-game show.
Thank you.
It was really, in our hour of need, you stepped up. But it was also that it was your good mate, Gio Reyna, closing down that Brazilian attack on the right with you in unison. You two have been friends since you were barely teenagers in the NYCFC youth teams together, starting in 2015. Gio, part of his game that hasn't always been respective is at the defensive end, often plays much higher up the field. But my God, he was tenacious in this game. There the two of you were, like a footballing Troy and Abed, just yucking it up, gumming up the Brazilian transition. What was it like for the two of you? What were you saying to each other? What was the communication through that 90?
Yeah, it is fun. We always talked about before the game. We always play good on the same sides together. You know what I mean? So he knew he was going to have to help me defensively, obviously, and he did that. And that's a big part of the game that is not respected, but I hope everyone can see now it should be respected, because, to be honest, he is a good defender. Even in trainings when we do these 5-a-side drills and everything, he's a good defender. And always after the game, he even said we work well together, because he knows what I'm going to do, and I kind of know what he's going to do, just because we've been playing together for such a long time.
You often say you can read each other's mind on the field, that the two of you have this deep, special bond.
Yeah, exactly. One time I got the ball on the right, and I wanted to take a touch down the line, but it went a little long, and it looked like a pass. It looked like a nice pass to him. So you could even say that was kind of the thing where he kind of knew I was going to maybe take a pass or a touch down the line, and it was nice at a 1-2. We work well on the field, obviously, because we're such close friends. It makes everything much easier. You have confidence. It feels different, more fluid, obviously, when everyone has a close bond and when you have a good friend on the team.
I want to talk about your special bond that you share, and the number of you share in one moment, but I do need to ask you this to just put a bow on the Brazil game. Do you know, Joe, someone changed your Wikipedia entry post-game to say Joe Scally is Vinny Jr.'s father?
Yeah, I did see that. I think my cousin sent it to me, to be honest. But
he did?
Yeah, he did. I saw that. It's cool.
I think it was your mum, Margaret, who made the entry.
Hey, I don't know. He didn't say anything. I don't know.
I actually looked you up before this interview, and there was a tweet that came out that said, Joe Scally has become a dad. And I felt for a minute, I was like, oh, he's so young, that's so lovely. And then it was really just someone tweeting out the Wikipedia entry, Godspeed to more of that. But I want to go back to Germany and that relationship, the relationship you have with so many the core of your team. You lived till you moved to Nottingham Forest for the half-season loan. You lived 45 minutes away, I think, from Gio Reyna. I mean, you guys, the core of you, the Aronson brothers, close to, watching you guys together, watching you guys stream Fortnite together, play golf together. How would you describe that kind of heartbeat, that connection, that Americans abroad relationship?
Yeah, it's definitely a great connection, and it's helped, both of us so much. Just to be that 45 minutes, an hour away, like I told you before. On the weekends, most of the time, hopefully we both played on Saturday. On Sunday, we'd have like kind of off, so we would hang out. That day it would help you in training and stuff, because then it feels like home. You always play your best when you're feeling, confident, like you're at home, like you have family and friends around you, makes everything easier. So when we were able to do that, for 3 years straight, that was so nice. It was helping your game and everything. And then he went on loan. Obviously, I wasn't able to see him. I wanted to try and visit, but there was just no chance, you know what I mean? Because then it's like you're too busy.
You played golf with Brendan and Paxton as well, the Aronson brothers, who were close by last season. If you were to order your 4 golf games from best to worst, who's top, who's bottom out of that foursome?
At this moment, I'd have to say Gio's the best by a little bit, then me, then Paxton, and Brendan's the worst by far. He can't play. God. Yeah, he's the worst by far.
We had Mr. Aronson on the show talking about how he'd coach his kids to be elite footballers. Get on the golf game, Father Aronson, for Lord's sake. Who's got the best all-round game on the US squad and why?
Josh Harden has a really good game. I would have to say him that I've seen. He has a really good game.
Sarge,
yeah,
from those beautiful verdant greens in Norwich, it's really up to his game.
I guess so. He has a good drive. Yeah, he's I would say overall best.
God, no wonder he's trying to cite you out with a Vini Jr. thing. He wasn't actually trying to help you in the football. He was trying to just get in your head on the tee.
I know. What's good is last camp we played 2 against 2. It's me and Josh against Brendan and Gio. So we played. We only played one time. We tied. So I think we're gonna have to do it again in Dallas on one of the days.
Josh Sargent, we got him coming on imminently. He seems to be the kind of guy that's always just looking for that competitive edge. Gio, God bless, just returned to Dortmund, but you've continued to blossom at Mönchengladbach this season. You played over 2,500 minutes across 35 games. You've talked about how right now for you, the most important thing that you can focus on is playing time. How do you feel your game has evolved this season? What's the most important lesson you've learned about yourself this year?
I just want to play, you know what I mean? It's the most important thing, and it's the best thing, obviously, playing. Another new coach I had this year, I think it's like my 5th coach or 6th coach in 5 years. So it's wild. But one thing I definitely learned this year that I was able to take away was I learned a new position. Sometimes we played this 5 in the back, and I played right center back, which was very helpful to me. It helped me grow as a player. This season I played, right wing back, right back, left wing back, right center back. So yeah, one thing I could take away is just I was able to learn this new position. I was able to gain more confidence, more experience, and just overall go onto the field knowing, I've done it now over 100 times. So, you feel so confident. It's more normal.
I mean, it is amazing, not just tactical change, but I mean, you become quite resilient, quite used to, quite exposed to the managerial carousel. There was another coaching change at Gladbach this summer. Former Norwich City, now Leeds manager Daniel Farke, replaced by a gent who somehow is even more slick-haired, Geraldo Sione. And with it, your position has changed, as you say, from a right-back in a defensive 4, you played wing-back, or even in a back 3. And you've talked to me about how so much of your game at the beginning is rooted in the basketball of your youth. Being a defender, learning how to shuffle your feet, work out how to get the exact right position, constantly reassessing. I mean, this flexibility, this tactical flexibility, is it almost rooted in your kind of Long Island multi-sport origins, that ability to adapt and work out yourself how to thrive in different positions?
Yeah, I think it definitely helps. Yeah, when you play different sports, you learn how to use, I guess, different parts of your body. Basketball is obviously much different than soccer, but in the end, sports is sports. So you always can take a little bit of something from one sport and use it in your own. And I think, that's the main part of my game is my athleticism. So I think if I didn't play basketball when I was younger, I would not be doing as well as I am in soccer. So thank God I did it when I was younger to play all these sports, get your body working, get your body moving. And it's one of the most important things.
Sports is sports, but your game, it's not just about defending, Joe Scally. You can also score the bangers. 89th minute of a game in October against Mainz. Your team trailing 2-1. The ball drops to you from the sky. I think half the team between you and the goal. And I'm thinking, while I was watching, oh, he's going to cycle it out wide. But no, you decided to dip your shoulder, run round the defender, and absolutely uncaught from way outside the box. I want to know, when you hit that ball, like a Long Island Yunus Musa, that's how hard you bloody hit it. How does it feel to hit one that sweetly, that truly?
Yeah, I mean, you just want to watch it on the replay, you know what I mean? Because you really don't see it at that time. Because I hit it and I fell. I fell over the guy, so I didn't see it go into the net. I kind of just heard the crowd at first, and then, yeah, your natural reactions is your celebration or whatever it is. But you always want to kind of watch it back, or at least that's how I feel. Because you don't really, unless you hit a shot, you don't fall and you can see the whole thing, go perfectly into the net. But I wasn't able to see it, so instantly I kind of just wanted to go inside, and see the replay right away. But, yeah.
How often have you watched that goal, Joe?
Yeah, which was nice was after that, we had national break, but we played on a Friday night, so I was able to go home one day. So at the house, we watched it a lot, you know what I mean? We watched it a lot.
You may or may not have dropped it in the Josh Sargent group chat.
Yeah, I know. I did. No, I'm going to tell you, I did.
Can we talk about the celly for a second?
Yeah.
A lot of running, a lot of release, a little bit of jazz hands. I don't know, how would you describe it?
No, I was like, there was just some criticism, so I was kind of going like this to the fans, but now it's like a little joke with them.
But is that what that was?
Yeah, it was, yeah.
Oh, mate. Wow. It looked to me like you were so thrilled that you didn't quite know what to do and you were trying to process what should I be doing in this moment as I was doing it. Like, I was waiting for the backflip, the ice in his veins.
Next time.
Yeah, the Jude Bellingham.
Yeah, maybe it comes the next time. I have to remember that.
Come on, Bolivia. After the game, you said that feeling of scoring was addictive, that you wanted more. I want to score again and again, which I love. I love your mindset. I mean, you are an attacking defender. You've often talked about how much you love to get high up the field. You're often coveted by other teams. Milan constantly linked, which fast becoming a more American team than most MLS teams. When you return to Mönchengladbach after this summer, do you have a sense of what has to happen, about how Sione sees your development? What's next for you?
Yeah, the focus right now is going back to Gladbach, seeing what happens. Of course, it's a big season. We went through a changing period last summer. It's going to happen again. So, yeah, we'll just wait, see how the summer goes with Copa America, and then get back and see how it goes.
Let's talk about the Copa America and the national team. May 1st, that nutmeg king, Serginho Dest, revealed the quite cruel news that he torn his ACL, would miss many, many, many months, including this summer's Copa America. Were you watching the news on Insta with the rest of us? And what went through your mind, Jake?
Yeah, I saw it through Instagram as well, just like you guys. And you never want someone to get hurt, of course, to that magnitude. It's the worst thing as a soccer player. You see your club guys who are injured go through, and it's like all the guys are going out to train, and then you have to sit inside and do. It's one of the worst things, and you never wish that on anyone. And for me, he is one of my good friends on the national team. Of course, he's a guy who kind of keeps to himself, but also on Instagram that shows his personality. And for me, he's kind of opened up. He's one of my good friends, I would say, on the national team. Also, his family is close with mine. So, of course, I sent him a text and everything like that because, like I said, you never want something like that to happen. And for me, he sent me something back saying it's your time, everything like this. So it was a really nice conversation between the two of us.
I mean, he's a sweet and remarkable bloke, Serginho, and it was a crushing agony. But it's also an opportunity. A Serginho Dest-sized hole, and it is a Serginho Dest-sized hole, is also almost a Joe Scally-sized jigsaw piece. So I don't know what Greg says to you when he reaches out in that moment. Do you feel the spotlight fall on you? How do you mentally prepare as you travel to camp with confidence, or is it a little bit of trepidation?
When I first, heard and everything, spoke to the coach, of course you feel pressure, you know what I mean? Because this is your opportunities to step in. And of course, at that moment, maybe it was 2 weeks or 3 weeks before we got into camp, you feel pressure. Or I felt pressure, you know what I mean? And then when you go in, you know that, you can do it, obviously, because you've been doing it now for 32 games or whatever. Once you kind of get on the practice field or the game field, the pressure just kind of goes away, and then you got to do what you've always been doing. And for me, I've had that confidence, because I've been doing it. So it was something that obviously that was a lot of pressure, from the people, from everyone. But I was able to step in 2 friendly games and play well. But the tournament hasn't started yet.
The real question I think America's asking itself, as you've shown in the Brazil game, that you can truly step up and make that right back your own. Will you now be editing and uploading personal highlight reel mixtapes, win or lose, after each game?
No, that's not my thing. I think I have maybe 2 highlight videos on my Instagram. One's from like Nike friendlies, and the other one was like an overall recap of last season. But no.
If you want to be a proper American right back, you just got to get get those heavy edits on there.
I know. That's something I can't do yet.
Godspeed, Serginho. We talked at the top about that 1-1 draw with Brazil. Honestly, it felt like a win. Because of the context coming after that long, frustrating night, the 5-1 defeat against Colombia. Joe, what was it that changed in those 4 days in between? Because the performances, tactically, the mental messaging that came out of the performance, was it a matter of tweaking tactics? Was it a complete shift in the inner headspace in game? What goes into a rebound performance like that?
Yeah, I think we had extra motivation. Obviously, after you lose 5-1, it's the best thing is being able to play, right away. So that was important for us because, we felt fresh. We had a good recovery, and then we knew, this was going to be a different game. Maybe we weren't able to play out of the back as much as we could, so we played a couple more long balls, fighting for second balls. And then, of course, in the end, we do have the individual quality from all the players that can, make or break a game. So that's why we had the confidence. Obviously, we didn't want to go down early, but we felt good in that game. We felt like we were growing into the game as it went on. We had chances, so it was really important for us to get that confidence, and we had the confidence in the game, even after losing, which was important.
I mean, the style of play felt so different. Tactically, you were talking about knew you'd have less of the ball. The tactics felt more pragmatic, more conservative. To be honest, more traditionally how international teams play well. Did you guys feel that almost you were not trying to build out from the back as much, and it was almost allowed you to thrive? Yeah,
of course, our first thought is always to build out, whether it's from Matt through a goal kick or whatever it is. But we had the feeling on the field that, we can't do this. You know what I mean? If we build out and we lose the ball, they're just going to counterattack and score. So it was good. Yeah, we played it long. Of course, we build out in some scenes, but most of the time we played long, won the second balls. And we have such a fast and good 1-against-1 players in the attack for counterattacks, which is something that I think we thrived in this game.
Can we talk about that? Because you talked earlier about the quality of certain players, and there's one player in particular that obviously I'm sure comes to every listener's mind in that moment. Christian Pulisic, what a human being, off the season of his life with Milan. Just cutting a confident figure. There's a swagger to Christian. That foul he delivered upon, I think it was Rafinha inside 5 minutes, which seemed totally intentional and sent a message. So we are here to fight. It was proper from the Clint Dempsey days. You don't know where I'm from, dog. At Hershey, Pennsylvania is the answer. But watching him when the ball drops to his feet and you're in the right back position, what does that feel like on the field? Because he is capable of that wizard filth creativity where he can just make crap happen. Is it exciting when he gets on the ball for you?
Yeah, of course. As a defender, you can see the whole field, so you can watch it, from the other side of the field, for my case, because he's on the left. And I remember the one situation in the Germany game where he cut inside, and put a top corner. And there was a scene like that where I thought he was going to do the same against Brazil. It was the same exact play where he had it on the left and brought it into the right. So, of course, it's always nice because anything can happen. He's always can create a goal, can create an assist. So it's always important for him when he gets on the ball.
Here's the question. Which one is the real United States men's national team? Was it the Colombia game or the Brazil one? And how do you know?
Yeah, I think we can take, some good things from both games. Obviously, in the one Colombia game, we tried to build out. Sometimes it worked. I think we had, maybe more prettier sequences against Colombia where we, played out of the back nicely, switched the field. And then Brazil, it was a different team where, it was more different, maybe fighting spirit first, second balls first. And, we can take, things from both games. Of course, the result in the Brazil game is much nicer. Maybe if there's, a couple, maybe 5 things different in the Colombia game, which is, to be honest, not maybe it sounds like much because it was 5. That was 5 goals, but maybe if it's just 5 things, where more defensive, then it could have been a totally different result. So I think we could take things from both games, and we're just really confident.
Copa America kicks off Sunday, June 23rd, 6 p.m. Eastern. against Bolivia. The crowd in DC, it was quite a hostile environment on home turf. I was almost worried Bolivia would somehow be able to play us in Denver, so they had the high altitude. Thankfully, it's Arlington, Texas, in the flatlands. Bolivia, though, most probably going to go into a low block of their own. They're almost going to dare you to break them down, which is something that we've struggled with at times in CONCACAF. Tell us what you're expecting.
Yeah, of course we have a period of time now where we just have time to relax. So we didn't really get into the tactics of the Bolivia game. And of course, we're all expecting a low block, and we have players that can create and break down the low block.
Next game, Thursday, June 27th, group stage. You face Panama, who are going to be a stiff test in the middle of the park. When the coaches are prepping for a tournament like this, are they giving you breakdowns of all of the games? Or is it just concentrate on the next one, then we'll talk about Panama after the Bolivia game is done? Yeah,
it's exactly like you said, the second one. You play the first game, then you analyze it maybe, the day after. And then those next 2-3 days are all prepared for the next game.
So the last group game, Uruguay, under the tutelage of the high press godfather and bucket squat master Marcelo Bielsa, that if there's one constant to all its teams, it is they'll run and run and run until there's no turf left to run on. You'll have chaos agent Darwin Nunez peeling off your flank. You face Luis Diaz and Vini, but it's a remarkable set of challenges at Uruguayan frontline. Many humans, lesser humans than you, would quake. Mentally, how do you approach these kind of challenges? Are you kind of the gent that licks their lips a little?
Yeah, you always like playing in the bigger games because it makes you more focused. And what's funny is where I'm staying now in Florida, their team is at the hotel.
The Uruguayans?
Yeah, their team's at the hotel. So you'll just be walking around and you'll see them, which is funny. But yeah.
Do you know any of them from the Bundesliga?
I don't think they have any in the Bundesliga.
They do not know Joe from Long Island.
No, it was funny. I played golf with my dad yesterday, and they were all sitting outside, like their team. And my dad says hello, and obviously they say hello back, but they don't know, obviously who I am. They have no idea, it's funny, you know what I mean?
You got to send your dad into that tactics room, stealth undercover.
I know,
CIA
I know. That's what I'm telling him, I know. But it's funny. It's funny because they're there and maybe they know and they don't say anything about it.
Oh my God, I wonder if they're having interviews about how's Luis Suarez's golf game.
Yeah.
Can we talk about one gent before we go? Tim Ream.
Yeah.
Plays alongside, he's 36, 15 years older than you, legally, technically could be your granddad. I think the only fortnight he knows is like 14 days.
Yeah.
He is from another generation. Can you describe what it's like to hang out with him, to play in that backline alongside him? Because he is humanly remarkable to watch.
Yeah, I mean, like we all say, he's the grandpa of the group, you know what I mean? He's so much older than all of us, which is, big problem for him. He's getting old. But no, he's a great guy. When we talk to him, we bring the kid out of him. We try and bring him back to the, I don't want to say the good old days, but when he was younger, back when
1950 World Cup.
Exactly, that one. And no, he's a great guy. Playing in the back line with him, you see how calm he is on the ball. So, like I said, I keep saying confidence. It just gives you confidence when you see, one of your leaders, one of the older guys on the team, having all this confidence, telling us we can play, because he's been there. He's been through every single game you can imagine. You know what I mean? So
it is amazing to watch. So ultimately, this team will go as its backline goes. That's the reality in international football. Your backline, there's you. There's Anthony, just speed freaks, just ebullient, just like two cans of fizz shaken up and ripped open. And then you got Chris Richards, just one of the great singular personalities of this team. And Tim Ream, just confidence, experience. He brings a quality unlike any in this team. What's it like playing alongside him in the field, looking at those two, Chris and Tim, doing their thing?
Yeah, it's important. They're two, Premier League starting center backs. So, to have that is so important. I think in a low block, we've been good with this defense. Against Colombia, a couple of transitions things, but Brazil, low block, had a good defense. Not much really got through us. So, yeah, I think we just have a really good, solid defensive, back four, which is important for us. And we also have the, capability to go forward and build out.
What does success look like for this US team in this tournament, Joe? What are you aiming for? What would you leave feeling satisfied with and accomplished?
For us, every tournament we go into, we want to win. That's the only thing to be successful in a tournament is, in the end, to win the tournament. Of course, there's other little trophies you can win as a team with, playing good result, little things like this. But overall, the success is to win the tournament.
That is music, I'm sure, to every listener's ears. Joe, I admire so much about your approach to life. I want to raise my Michelob Ultra to you and the wisdom and patience and the groundedness that you clearly carry. Honestly, it belies your 21 years. You've got more than my more than 21 years, to be candid. And you said last time we spoke that you don't worry if you're good enough. If you're starting, you must deserve to be there, which I think is just a mantra to live by. Now you are going to start in the US Men's National Team in the 2024 Copa America. Can you describe to us, as you begin this journey, what gives you the most hope about this American team and all that is to come?
I think now that we've shown in this last Brazil game that we do have the possibility to also, play with fight, play with spirit. Of course, we do every game, but a little differently with the ball. We like to play like that. But in the end, we are like every American team that has come before us with this passion, this fight, this second ball spirit. So I think that's something that the fans, should be really happy about, that we also have this side to us. And yeah, we're all ready to go.
God, as Matt Turner, the great American, would say, it's a dog fight out there, dog. Joe Scally, to you and to your Jens Eagles teammate.
Thank you.
Thanks, mate.
Thank you, Raj.
Courage.